Let's do it.
Hello and welcome to Talking Leeds, Season 2 of our little pod. We're back for some Premier League actions. I've got myself a new home. Mr. George Brook is still here. So first of all, good evening, Mr. George, the bearded peacock Brook. How are you, sir?
Good evening, Aaron. Good evening to everybody watching. Good evening, or good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever it is, what time it is you're watching this or listening to this. Welcome along to it. It's another season, and like you said, Premier League is upon us eventually, when it does eventually arrive. We're back after a long time away. I'm okay, and how are you? We've been away for a bit. We've both been away in the same place a few weeks ago, I believe, also, a similar place. Yes, how are you doing? I love this new thing behind
you. Look at the new studio, George, for Talking Leeds, for Premier League action. I've got myself a new house, and I've got myself a real podcast recording.
I love it. It looks fantastic. And I said to you, Aaron, are we doing live shows from there soon? Come, I suppose. We won't discuss the location, but yes.
Yes, we're back. And good evening to Carl. Welcome back. It has been a while. Been a while since the Talking Leeds show. Yes, and good evening, Colin, as well. Good to have you back. We are back. We've had a long break because we needed to recharge our batteries, didn't we, George, from the title-winning season last season. And now we're starting to get some news. We're starting to get rumours. We're starting to get ready for the new season. The players are back in action at Thorpe Arch now, aren't they? They're back in their pre-season training. And we thought, we'll be back as well. Why not? It's time to get into all the... into the ins and out of Leeds United. But have you had a haircut, Mr. George?
I have had a haircut, Alan. Thank you. It's taking you this long to notice it, yes, but I have had a haircut. The long hair is still there, the beard is still there, but I have gone for down the sides as a short back and sides. The back is short as well. It's a bit cold down, despite the hot weather today. The back of my head hasn't seen the light of day for some time, so it has now. Yes, it was last week I got a trim, so it's looking good. It's gone down well. And this is it. I thought, let's change it up for Leeds, new season. Let's hope we get on with the Premier League, new hairdo, the Jack Harrison look potentially, looking what he looks like yesterday when I saw that video of the pre-season training. So we're back on. Exactly, Shane. Is it Jack Harrison on the left? Well, he's grown a beard, but yes, like I said, very similar to Jack is my haircut. That wasn't what I was modelling it on, by the way, but yeah, very similar.
Excellent. Well, we are back, and we will be back every week as well. We've even got Jerry coming on in a couple of days' time as well. He's busting to get on as well. So if you are listening on YouTube, do give us a share. We'd like to get that subscription numbers up if we can, because we're back and we're ready for some Premier League action. So, George, there's loads to discuss today. Obviously, we've got some transfer signings to discuss and get a couple of opinions on that. There's a new shirt, but I'm not too fussed about that. It is what it is. I think they've taken inspiration of our little background there because it's pretty much that. If you haven't seen it.
The new shirt's shit, isn't it, really? It might as well be that one you're wearing, mate. It's poor. It's poor effort.
It'll always come cheap come Christmas and the end of the season.
It's an awful.
And obviously, we've got lots of things to get our teeth into over the next couple of weeks, because pre-season kicks off, as do us. Shane says, are you going to the game in Dublin? Do you know, I was considering it until I looked at the Ryanair price of a return flight to Leeds Bradford Airport, 450 quid. So, no, is the answer. George, are you going to go to Dublin? I know that my brother-in-law is going to Sweden.
Oh, is he?
Play Manchester United next week. So
week on Saturday. Yeah, no, I'm not going to either of those games. And I did sort of dabble with the idea. Oh, yeah, Dublin sounds cool. And
Jerry also did invite me. I know that Jerry's going, so we will get a pre-match.
Jerry goes to every game, doesn't he, Aaron? I mean, I'm sure it will. That won't let up when we're in the Premier League either. So, Shane says fly from Liverpool, Aaron. Look, it would be nice to go, but yeah, for that money, no. And I'll just probably watch it, where I can, or not even bother watching it. We've only got 3 pre-season games, haven't we? And then the season kicks off. So, is it the 18th of August? We kick off at home to Everton. So
and for those who watch on TV, all of Leeds United's first 3 games are live on a certain terrestrial TV satellite dish.
I don't think you'll be mentioning that, Aaron, the way you mouth them at the end of the last season.
Yeah.
Frustration from you.
Twats already. They've already ruined our bloody pre-season. They're already ruining our season.
They already
Sky, if you haven't heard, are going to be showcasing Leeds' first 3 games in the Premier League. Everton at home, Arsenal away, and then Newcastle at home. So a bit of a tough start, I think. But George, we've got so much to discuss. Let's get straight onto transfers then, because obviously we've had some movement in the transfer market, haven't we?
Yes.
Bijol, is that how you say it? Bijol?
Yeah, I think it's Bijol or Bijol, isn't it?
Bijol. 18 million quid centre back signed from Udinese. Goodmanson came in a couple of days ago, left back from Lille, 10 million quid. Now, I do apologise for our friends in Germany who do listen to our show. Bernal.
I think his name's Bernal.
Bernal. 6 million quid from Wolfsburg, and
Lucas Nemetcha. Yeah. Also from
striker from Wolfsburg on a free transfer. So 4 in. George, you know my thoughts on these, and I know you already know what I'm going to say about these 4 players which have come through the door. But I want to know what you think of them first, because you're in the know. You've got more sources than HP.
Every time I say, and I'm really disappointed, Aaron, in the obviously we are from LS11, we come from there. The lads don't really seem very vocal on these transfer rooms at all. Every time I put a message in there on a certain player, you're always there with who. Like I said, it was Groundhog Day every single time. I say, come on, do you not know that guy? But you obviously don't. And you obviously look more towards the Premier League and that. And if it's a name you don't know, generally, if it's from a different league, I suppose you might not know it. And so you probably think they're all crap, these signings. But I also really am not that enthused by any of them just yet. I think Gudmundsson, his name, isn't it? Gabriel Gudmundsson, the Swedish lad who came from Lille a couple of days ago. We knew it from about a month ago that there was interest in him for Leeds. I think he's probably the most exciting one so far. He looks very well thought of by Lille, and the fans look very saddened to see him go. So obviously left back is a position we needed with Junior going. So it was always going to be an important vacancy to fill, and looks like we've done it. Looks like he's a decent enough player. What's interesting to me is the fact that all four of the guys are 26 years old, which is quite amazing when you look at it, which says to me, Arron, that we're going for players that are experienced in some way. Look, these lads are all internationals or have been international in some way, shape in their career. And so we're obviously going for experienced international players from European leagues. And I kind of don't mind them filling up the squad with these sort of signings. We need now to see really in the next 2 or 3 signings, definitely, we need to see smack signings, big signings over the next 2 or 3 for me. We need to start seeing some starting players. Only 2 of the 4 that have signed so far for me are starting next season on a regular basis, and that's Gudmundsson and Bjol. And the other 2 are squad players for me. We need to now see players that are going to come straight into the first team and start, basically. That's what I think anyway.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I'm not enthusiastic about 2 of them, if I'm being honest, because you know what I'm going to say. We really need Premier League quality. And I know we were linked with Longstaff from Newcastle a couple of days ago, weren't we? But it seems to me that Leeds have moved on from that one. And I thought, you know what? That ain't a bad signing because Leeds need that quality, Premier League quality in that. And I'm not going to write them off at all. I'll give them a chance. Let's see what they can do. It just doesn't give me that optimism and that excitement which a real statement of intent signing would give us. I'd have got excited about Longstaff because I think he's a great player, and I know that a lot of Newcastle fans will be good to see him go.
See, my brother's a Newcastle fan, Arron, as you know, I think, and he sort of said, yeah, he'll do for Leeds, but he's a bit frustrating at times, and
but this is what I'm trying to say: is he's a workhorse.
Yeah,
that is one thing which a lot of Newcastle fans, which I've read on Twitter and so on, have really said. He'll work and graft and graft and graft, and that's what you need in the Premier League.
I think, to be honest with you, Arron, we need, and he's not the fancy, oh my God, look at this guy coming from, I don't know, South America or whatever, but he's an Anglo-Saxon man, and people don't quite get so excited about that, do they? But it doesn't mean he's any more important than a lad who's coming from Colombia, say, and everybody's getting excited. But he still has that quality. He's got 200 odd or nearly 200 Premier League appearances, I think, and he was playing in the Champions League a couple of years ago as well. So he's got good experience. It would be a good sign. It looks like we got knocked back yesterday again. I don't think they're going to go in for him again. I think they will go for, I'm not going to say a cheaper. It
is going to be a cheaper option. Let's be honest.
It's probably going to be one of similar value that they expect they can easily get because you've got the English tax with Longstaff as well, the Premier League tax with a person.
But this is the thing, George. What I've been saying, you still, regardless, you're going to have to pay it. You're going to have to pay.
Yeah, but
you're going to have to pay it eventually because it needs to be paid.
But it's obvious to me, mate, that we're going for players from the continent that are basically cheaper options. And for me, unfortunately, the lads that come in, I know Bjol is very, very well thought of, and he's the most expensive out of the 4, obviously. But for me, Bjol and Bernau, they stink of Robin Koch and Diego Llorente.
And this is the thing, George, isn't it? Because we've been in this situation before a couple of years ago, and it all ended wrong. I really, really can't get excited about these. I think the 49ers and Red Bull, they've got to really seriously over the next couple of weeks, obviously the squad's starting to take shape. We need to see real quality now, real quality, proven. And I'm not saying Premier League. I'm seeing real proven top flight players coming through the door.
To be fair, that's what these guys are. I mean, yeah, it stinks of cock, Jimbo, absolutely.
He's buggered off now, hasn't he? So it doesn't matter.
You can always, rely on Robin Koch when he played for us, and obviously keeps going. He's a gift that keeps giving. Is Robin Koch in terms of innuendos and such things. But yeah, look, these players are. You said you wanted experience, and these players are experienced in top flight football. They're all 26-year-old. They're not young players. You look at all four of them. Bernau's a Belgian international. He's got lots of experience in the German league. Biol is, experienced in Udinese in Italian and in international level.
But the Premier League is a different league, George. It's a step up on all of them. The golfing class between the Championship, as an example, is massive.
It is.
The golfing class in La Liga, Serie A, League on, they're massive. It's massive.
It is, but you just said as well, Aaron, that you wanted, you weren't care that if it's from the Premier League, you just want proven top flight players, and this is what these guys are. It might be a different quality of top flight football, but it's still top flight football. It's international football as well. So for me, yeah, I'm not getting so enthusiastic about the likes of Bernau and Lucas Nemecha, but I know these guys are going to be. They're not going to be starting. It's filling out the squad, and ultimately we will sign 3-4 players that will fit straight into the first team squad, and that for me will be a goalkeeper. It will be a centre midfield player, and it will be a number 10, and it will be a striker. And those four.
So is that what you think we need then? But
we need the whole.
Do people agree in the comments though? So George, say it again, just so we can get people's opinions on what we need now.
Yeah, we need the whole spine of the team. Welcome back. Thank you, Campos 82. It's welcome to you as well. But we need the whole spine of the team. It will be starting. So the goalkeeper. We sort the centre backs. We need a centre mid, we need a 10, and we need a striker. So that's 4 players straight up the spine of the team. That is exactly what we need to go straight into the starting 11. That is exactly what we need. Then we need to fill the squad out with 1 or 2 others, and that's it. So realistically, for me now, we need 6 new signings, to go with a 4, which I've always said, Aaron. Before every time was 10 that we needed. That would make 10, and that is fine. The goalkeeper is a priority. Campos, of course, I always speak the truth. Have
you been bribing Campos?
That's exactly what we need. A centre mid as well, 10 striker, goalkeeper. Jimbo says the goalkeeper is the priority. I agree. But we want him, Perry, aren't we, from Lyon? I know they're staying up now, aren't they? They're not going down. They're staying up. So it might be a little bit more difficult to get Perry over the line. But there are goalkeepers here and there. We will get a goalkeeper. A striker is a must as well. Again, we're not going to go into the season with the Metcha. We're not going to go into the season with Josh Sargent. I wouldn't have said either. And people need
to. They're past it though. That Josh Sargent. I'm not being funny, but he's gone. He's past it now.
I don't think he's past it. He's only 25.
Yeah, he's been in the Premier League before.
But he was young, wasn't he? And for me, I don't think this Sargent rumour is true, but I think it's a lazy link with Fark and everything. And we've been linked with him in the past. And it's just because we've gone up and, they must be after Sargent then. That's not true. I don't think so. But, I think that...
anyway.
I think who cares? They can have him. I think we need a statement striker, and I think that's the main thing really. A statement goalkeeper and a statement striker. We need a good level number 10 and a good level CM, and then I think we're a couple of things. Maybe just one to fill out the squad with, and then you're done. And I think that's then we've got to say, okay. We're realistic, and we can't overturn the whole squad, and so we'll have to just see how we go.
Yeah, I just want to jump onto the comments because there's tons of comments coming in. Please do keep them coming in, guys. We do read them all after the show as well. And we do like your interactions with us. Carl says, I still want someone better. He's not going to Gruev, decent squad player. Arron, are you in Santa's Grotto? No, I'm in the brand new Talking Leeds podcast studio. Jimbo, where have you been? Let's have a look.
Yeah. Where have you been for the last 20 minutes?
Yes, goalkeeper is a priority. Clive says, do you think we'll sign a right back to have a brand new back four? I think Bogle deserves a chance, Clive. Do you think he deserves a shot? Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there. I think Bogle probably
I think they will sign I think they will try and sign a fullback, replace obviously.
It doesn't, George. Sorry to interrupt. No. Sam Byram has signed a 1-year deal. We don't need another right back. No, Byram is there.
So I think at the moment we've got Byram, we've got Bogle, there's Goodmanson and Schmidt. So that's 4, isn't it? There.
Yeah.
Whether that's good enough or not, I don't know. But it's not a priority anymore with Goodmanson coming in, is it? He can play left back. Bogle can play right back. The other 2 lads can interchange as in the cup games, and people get injured.
Anyway, also look at this, George. Put up on the screen here. Look at this, a blast from the past. Mr. Alfie Kemp. Good evening, Alfie.
My Lord. Alfie, I didn't recognise you there, fella.
He's looking well. Look at that photo. He's looking
Come on in. Get him on. Come on, Alfie. Get back in here.
Good evening, Alfie. Bamford's been on the supplements this summer. 30 season incoming. I'd absolutely love it if he got 3. That would be a really good improvement.
I mean, Bamford he looks a tank, doesn't he, by looking at that little video and photos of him in the pre-season. But yeah, hopefully he's looking good. He's looking good. He's feeling good and ready to go. And yeah, thank you, Michael. New trim up and ready for the new season. And absolutely, let's get going, Dale. Good to see good to see you here also. And Clive Patrick is a beast now. Byram started squeezing his biceps. Yeah, of course he did. I'm sure if you were there, would you be doing that? You know what I mean? Or maybe, I don't know.
Who knows? Don't know what you're on about. It's good. But yeah, Bamford then, George, speaking what Alfie said there, Patrick Bamford, is he the solution of our number 9? Do we need to be?
No, he's not the solution.
He has done it before in the past.
No, he's not. He'll be part of the squad, but he'll be part of the reserves and the bench, intermittent between the two. Nemetra's ahead of him immediately, isn't he? I know he's got his own worries with injuries, but look, what we'll have is we'll have 4 strikers there. We'll have Nemetra and Bamford, we'll have Perot, and then we'll have the main striker. I think, which will be whoever it'll be, and Perot will be closing in on that. Maybe he will be a 10. Maybe they don't bother with a 10 and try and skimp it with Perot and Aronson. But I would like to see a proper number 10. We've been crying out for it for years, really. It would be now with the Premier League ready. Let's go. Let's get a 10. Let's get a proper 10, and then let's then let's just go. Let's just go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
ready.
Absolutely.
But to answer your question, Arron, Bamford definitely won't be. He'll be a part of the squad, part of the dressing room, but ultimately he won't be anywhere near the starting 11. Thank you, Michael, again. Yes, well, I've been out in the sun all day, mate. That's just what I do. So, yeah, if it's burning or tanning, whatever it is, that's what's going to happen to my face and my arms and whatnot. So it is what it is. It is what it is, mate.
But I genuinely do want Patrick Bamford to have a good season, George. I really do, because yes, he's had it tough over the last couple of years, and if he could have a decent season, it'd be brilliant. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, Aaron. He's a good lad, and he's a good egg, is Patrick, isn't he? So we're all obviously plays for us as well, which is a bonus. So we're all rooting for him. But yeah, I don't envisage him playing any kind of real role in this season. He's just kind of like there for morale maybe and the odd game here and there when he's fit. I don't see him really being any kind of threat to any other team. We definitely can't go into a new Premier League season with Patrick Bamford as leading the line. It's got to be a statement striker for me. It's got to be one that gets the fans excited, because both you and I have come on here now, and it sounds like the people in the comments as well are not very happy. Not happy, but not like, wow, this is awesome, and so excited about the signings that we've made. So I think we need a kind of statement signing to get the goals and everybody go, wow, this is cool. Because at the moment, I know Michael referenced it earlier on, people are going mad over Sunderland. I don't really get it, but they are.
Why? Sunderland are going for it, George. You've got to give them a little bit of credit here. They're not. Do you not think that they've got a chance?
No. Bottom of the table, gone.
Wow.
No chance.
No chance at all.
The players they brought in, other than Adingra, today, which is a great signing. Other than that, so what? They bought a couple of players that are young and unproven.
Like Leeds.
Well, yeah, but we're not. We're signing experienced players, Arron. More experienced players. They're signing kids who have no experience in the Premier League at all. And then there's the odd player like Ronaldo. What's his name? The Mozambique international fellow we were linked with about a month ago. Every single player we're going to be with on Sunderland, basically. Sunderland and Leeds and Burnley and West Ham or whatever. That seems to be the group of teams that a lot of these players are linked with. So, it'll be, we sent a scout to watch him. I think Siddiqui was the only one who some reason chose Sunderland, whatever reason he had, he chose Sunderland instead of Leeds. So who knows why? Maybe his decision will be vindicated at the end of the season. I don't believe it will be. Yeah, exactly, Clive. They keep buying kids. I don't know why people are so mesmerised by what Sunderland are doing personally. But
well, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. People are saying they're doing a good bit of business. But for you, George, you think they're still going down?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, 100%. And Michael, I just want to now, Aaron, I've got to reference my other podcast, the Talking Brazil Ball, which we have, Michael, taken a little bit of a break from. We are back, I think, next week because Serie A, the Brazilian Serie A, has taken a little bit of a break over the month because of the Club World Cup. So we're back next week on that. The Serie A resumes this coming weekend. With a few games, so that'll be great. But yeah, it was great to see Fluminense do so well. I know they lost to Chelsea, but they did exceptionally well to get to the semi-final. So fair play to them. And that, I know because I can see Aaron's face, is the last we talk about Brazilian football.
Do you know what is great? I'll tell you what is great, George. Look who you've called and you asked and you wanted him to come on. Good evening, Mr. Kemp.
Good evening.
Oh, how my doing? God.
How are you, Mr. Kemp?
I'm very fine, thank you, Mr. Marshall. How are you?
I'm a bit warm, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, so am I. I've just been playing tennis.
Oh, God, are you crazy?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We are back now in, what is it? We've gone back in a time machine and we all, wow, fantastic. It's great to see Alfie. It's good to talk.
And you, George. I've missed you so. Not a day's gone by where you haven't been in my thoughts.
It's good to talk to you, mate. It's really good to see you. I'm glad you're all right. And yes, it's good to have you on here. It's great.
Yeah, I'm excited to offer my insights.
Yeah. Well, what are your insights then, Mr. Kemp, on all of Leeds' signings so far?
Are
you excited?
No, I'm not.
Exactly. George is jumping for joy here.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
No. Do you know? I'm not excited, but I like that I'm not excited because I think what we've done so far is quite sensible. It's clear what we're trying to do. We're just trying to sign massive players, but not big names, just massive players. Every player we've got is at least 6 foot, I think, so far. So it's clear what Farke's trying to do. But do you know what it is? We're going to be hard to beat next year, and also for a change, we have got all our business done early. So we haven't had any protracted out sagas that are going to last until deadline day, and then we end up missing out and getting somebody else rubbish at the deadline. So, and also I like our attitude that we're not getting drawn into overpaying. I know that like the Sunderland thing is kind of taking everyone by surprise, but just look at the fees that they're paying for these players. Like, I mean, the Adingra signing for me, that came out of nowhere. That genuinely did shock me. But they've spent 30 million euros on Habib Diarra. He's not worth that, and we know he's not. We offered, I think, what was it, 2021?
Yeah.
And they said no, and we said, right, suit yourself then. Go and find some other mugs that'll pay 30 million for him. And do you know what it is? And we're not rich enough to hedge our bets and sort of just chuck money at a player who may or may not be good. But it's so far so good for me. But we're not going to be let down by any of our signings, are we? Because none of them are particularly star-studded. But yeah, it's remains to be seen, I think.
Again, Clive says Lebris he was an academy coach, so maybe that's why he's signing academy players. But yeah, I mean, for me, 6 foot plus the players, it's like you said, Alfie, it's obvious what we're going for. Big, tall lads who can just batter the other guys off the pitch. And this is clearly what we're going for. Experience in some way, and then, people are getting touchy because Sunderland are suddenly coming in with big money signings. But like you said, Alf, Diarra, we knew he wasn't worth that much, but some mug's going to pay that for him. And look, well, they got somebody to pay that for him. And then suddenly people are saying, oh, Leeds don't know what they're doing. In fact, it's the absolute opposite. Of we don't know what we're doing. We know exactly what we're doing. We don't want to overpay for players like Diarra who are unknown and really, and people are going, oh, I didn't know who he was 2 weeks ago, but no, I'm really upset because he hasn't signed for Leeds. Well, that's your business, you know what I mean? That's whatever. But speak it into existence, whatever you want to have. So, so Leeds are going to sign a few players. We believe it, and we're going to have it.
Yeah. Can I also point out as well, I did see this today, that all of the players that Sunderland have signed recently, so Adingra, that Kemsadine thingy, sounds like a toothpaste, that winger from Club Bruges or something.
Yeah,
yeah, that's it, something like that. Reynildo, Diarra, and the other one, the AFCON is in January. That's all 5 of their signings are going to be unavailable for a month. Exactly. Like half of their squad is gone. Did have a look at their fixtures, and actually they've got a decent-ish run in January. So I don't know if they've looked at it and thought, well, I hope we're sort of clear enough of relegation by then, because that genuinely could be a massive oversight. I mean, obviously the thing about overpaying, I think is, I don't think they know what they're doing. I think they are literally just snapping up whoever they can and kind of worry about it later. But that genuinely could hurt them. I mean, well, yeah, as Michael says, 21st December then. So it's a long tournament. Like, this is not. I don't think they've quite thought that out.
And if they're overspending now, they might not have a lot of money to spend in January either. This is the issue, isn't it? So...
Yeah, and that's what Angus always said, wasn't it? It always comes at a cost. And to be fair, for as much as Angus was, a bit of a knob at times, he was right that we do need to keep some funds back for, if we get to January and we need a bit of extra something or an injury replacement. So I like us being smart. It's good to see, and we were smart last season. So it's good to see that that's clearly something that's continuing, I think.
Yeah, exactly. It's you've got to be smart, and fans get frustrated, don't they? Because they see Sunderland doing business. That Burnley have already signed, I think, 9 players, so they're already doing business, and people aren't getting so excited about our signings because they're a bit run of the mill, standard kind of. We don't know who they are, but they're internationals or some way. We need, like I said, we need a couple of signings now. It's soon, in the next couple of weeks. that say, hey, we are excited now. And it's got to be, you've got to admit as well, lads, people are more excited by attacking options than they are defensive options. And we've gone for mainly defensive options so far. The Metcha isn't really getting a lot of people's blood pumping, is he really? Although he could be a solid option, for a squad situation, but he's not the the 30 million pound striker that we're kind of wanting with bells and whistles on it. So let's see. And Burnley's statement signing was Kyle Walker. Of course it was, but if that's it, then that's it. Fair enough. I mean, I don't know.
I thought that was a great signing for them, by the way, Kyle Walker.
Really?
Right, yeah.
It was awful.
Really?
Proven quality.
Yeah, maybe
dog Premier League player.
Yeah, 4 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean, it's the kind of transfer that when you first see it, makes you go, "Wow, Kyle Walker," and then you just sort of think about it and go, "Actually, do you know what? Like, his pace has gone."
Yeah.
If he was anywhere near as good as he has been, City wouldn't have let him go. It's as simple as that. I mean, he's probably still got a season left of him, and the experience, would have been good, I think, if we had gone for that. But you're signing a player for that much. If you think about how much his wages will be as well, we'd be signing a player. I would not start him over Bogle. Absolutely not. Certainly not at the start of the season. It's good. And he can play centre half as well, can't he? So it's sort of it might be a good signing, but it's sort of it's a big name, but it's not a smart signing. I don't
thinking about goings then, lads. Who's going to go? Obviously, there's Jack Harrison to sort out yet. We don't know what's going to go on with him. Is he going to go back to Everton? God knows. Jack Harrison, George, what are you going to do with him?
Well, keep him in the team.
Alfie?
I don't care. I don't know. I don't really mind, to be honest. I saw that someone had doctored a photo of somebody in training kit and put Jack Harrison's face on, and I thought it was real at first. And I thought, I saw it and I thought, you know what? Good. Because actually his last season before we got relegated, he genuinely, people I think have forgotten, genuinely was one of our best players.
Yeah.
And we're going to need to fill the hole that Solomon's left, even though he's a lone player.
Yeah.
That is a massive part of that team that's going to have to be filled. And I'm not saying that I think Harrison could be as good as Solomon if he gets himself going. They're both injury-prone players, and Solomon just happened to have a relatively fresh season. I genuinely don't mind either way, to be honest. I'd be, I don't want to say happy to see him go, but if we do let him go, I'd say yeah, that's fine. And if he does decide to stay and fight for his place, like Aronson or I can't quite think of any others, Nonto, like Nonto or Aronson, sort of come back into the fold after being a bit of a pariah. Get your head down, get working, and work your way back into the team. And there's examples now that so I think it feels like sometimes Leeds fans don't practice what we preach in terms of like sticking by the players. We are generally can be quite quick to turn on a player, but actually you look at Nonto and Aronson, they are perfect examples that you don't have to come out with some apology statement or anything saying, "Oh, I'm really sorry that I went to Everton," but just come back in and get your head down and start working. And it only takes a couple of games to come back in. So I don't know. Do what you want. Just ask him what he wants to do.
Well, Jack Harrison is clearly here. Look, he's here. He's Jack
I mean, Jack. To me, it was great to see Jack back on the pitch, and he is a player of ours. Everton don't want him, seemingly. So where's he going to go? Come back to us. Like Alfie said, it don't take long for the fans to forgive him and say, hey, score a couple of goals or do a couple of good games, get an assist or two or whatever, because it's going to be harder in the Premier League, of course. You've got to remember, Aronson and Nonto coming back in the Championship. Well, Nonto always played for us, didn't he? But after the hoo-ha with the transfer stuff, Aronson was coming back into the Championship. So it's going to be higher level of what he does to get the fans back on board. But for me, keep him in the team. Like you said, Alfie, it's a filling a hole where Solomon has gone, and we need a winger to fill that void. And I think they'll probably see Harrison if he wants to stay, then yeah, fight for his place, get back on it, and get back down. He's there in pre-season training, isn't he? Obviously, he's not a focus of the videos. You don't see a shot of him by himself or whatever, or chatting and laughing with the guys. It's wide shots of them training like we've seen him in. So obviously, he wants to get his head down by the look of it and just get on with it. Forget about what happened. Hopefully, the majority of the fans can. But for me, if we do let him go, I'll be quite happy in a way, because you don't have to hear about it 24/7. Will Jack Harrison leave? What's he going to do now? Blah, blah, blah. Everton back in for him. No, they don't want him now. Just like you said, do what you want. But if he's going to go, let him go, because I would be quite happy in a way to stop hearing about it, basically.
Okay. What about Greenwood and Joffrey then, Michael?
No, let them go. They're not bothered.
Yeah, about
Let them
time.
go.
I feel bad for Greenwood though, because it seems like he's never really done anything particularly wrong. He just has not had. He's just not had a run in the team. I don't remember hearing anything about sort of him having a bad attitude. Like sort of Cresswell. There was rumours that he was getting a bit sort of unruly, and that's why we let him go. Joffrey's just not good enough for the Premier League, straight up.
Definitely not good.
Greenwood. I mean, do you remember Greenwood scored that absolute worldie against Bournemouth when we came back? So I mean, I'm not saying that he definitely can play Premier League. He's not good enough yet, but I'd maybe give him a loan to the Championship, to a better team than, was it Preston he was
Preston.
at last?
Yeah,
better team than Preston. Give him to Wrexham. That'd be brilliant. He'd have a great time. Or like a fun team. Give him a fun team that he can mess about in. And
exactly. Give him a team where he can showcase his skills, because he's clearly a player in there. I don't believe it'll be for Leeds. I think he should probably be sold, to be fair, but give him something. And Gelhardt for me is just rubbish. He's not good enough. So he can go. Greenwood can go. The fringe players can go. Obviously, Vober's gone already. Strip
down. Max Wober. I must admit, I don't get the violins out for him. I don't know about you.
No, I mean, nobody cares.
I don't know. I feel a little bit for him. Like, I mean, I don't like the fact that he's come out and said what he said, because I don't think any player should ever say that, especially when you've got to accept that like Rodon and Ampadu were just by far too good for that league. But he came on and he scored, didn't he, against Derby?
Against Derby,
it was a great finish, and I was absolutely over the moon for him. I mean, it's again one of those, like, I mean, I actually would rather just see him go, a bit like George said about Harrison, just so I can stop hearing about him, because it's boring, and he reminds you of that miserable season.
Yeah, well, he's gone now, and he's gone for good, hasn't he?
Has he? He's
gone on loan.
He's gone on
is
loan.
It a loan? But it's the last. Is it the last year of his contract?
Yeah,
though, so
they'll do
a deal. Like
a bit like it's
Robin
Cox situation, isn't it?
Yeah. That's fine. We'll move on from that.
Yeah, he won't play again for us, which is fine.
Christensen's buggered off as well, hasn't he?
He's gone already. Yeah, he's gone.
I didn't realise we still had him, to be honest.
I think he went in January, or he went at the end.
It was like a pre-thing. Yeah, that's fine. God, that was a mess.
Really was. They've all gone now, haven't they? So we started.
I've never seen.
And now we'll get fucking relegated with the likes of Bjorn and go off and become hated by the fan base. And
we'll be here again in 2 years.
Exactly. Some of them will come back, and everybody will be like, "Oh, I don't want him back," and then whatever. So, it's like I said before, it just stinks. These two, what's his name, Bornau and Biol, it just stinks a bit of Robin Koch and Diego Llorente, where eventually they'll just say, "Oh, fuck it, I don't want to be with Leeds United anymore," and then there's a hoo-ha about, he can go off to Germany again, or whatever. But Max Wober, I was like you, Alfie. I was delighted when he scored that goal against Derby, but ultimately it didn't look like his heart was in it really.
he hated the championship. He hated being at Leeds.
Yeah.
He clearly did. He clearly did.
Hated it. You could tell.
Yeah.
When he come off the bench, he's like, "Oh God, I'm here again."
Yeah, he just didn't enjoy it, did he? And to be fair, you can understand it in a way, because the fans didn't like him, because he fainted to be in the squad in that first championship season, and then he buggered off to Mönchengladbach just before the season started, when everybody thought he was going to stay. And so that's where the hatred or the frustration came with him. And
but anyway, he's gone. Doesn't matter. He's buggered off. See you later. Ta-da.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
I think with just going back to sort of the players that we've brought in, I think Biol is going to be, or Bijol, whatever we're going to decide we're going to call him. I think he's going to be bigger for us than most people realise. I have a really good feeling about him. I don't know. I've been thinking like it seems a bit like the Josko Gvardiol situation where we were really close to getting him. I don't know if it's just because his name starts with a J and ends with an Ol, but you know, I'm just thinking like we really should be using the example of like Rafinha last time we were in the Premier League to try and sell Leeds as almost like a stepping stone. And I hate to say that, and don't get me wrong, I don't like that that's sort of where we are, but it's the reality, I think, of the way football is and the gulf of finances.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, and I think we were probably saying the same thing to Gvardiol at the time as well, to say, look, like you know you're a good player, you know you're going to be an elite, you know, centre back someday. You know, we can accelerate your career by a season, 2 seasons. Come and play in the Premier League for us. Show us what you're about, and then you can move on to better things. And Rafinha is a really good sort of example of that. Of like, you don't have to wait for a big club to come in. Come and sort of showcase yourself, you know, on the bigger stage, sort of thing. And I think that's probably why we've got Bijol, because I think the longer the window went on, I think a bigger club might well have snapped him up. So yeah, I think I don't really know where I'm going with this, to be honest. It's just these are just thoughts that are in my head. But it's right, and Bournemouth have done the same. You know, you look at all the players they've let go. Howson, that was a mental signing to be able to get him, because he was definitely knocking on the door of a big move last summer. Bournemouth got him in, and they've got the sell on, and Kirkes as well, and Semenyo they're looking at selling. There's another centre-back who I can honestly say I've never heard of, but he played 36 times for him last season. I have no idea who he is. But, yeah, something like that. But that's an example, because you look at them now, they've got a ton of money to spend to rebuild their squad, and that's how, you know, that I think is how we need to be looking at. And it may mean that we do bring in some more relative unknowns, but it does mean you can probably get a player who is Premier League quality without paying the premium that clubs put on Premier League proven players, for example. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a smarter way of doing things. It's riskier, but it's potentially smarter, and means, you know, you can sort of bounce back if you get relegated.
This is exactly right, and for me, it's the model that Leeds should go with. You know, get players in, like people who don't know them, and then say to them, look, we know you're going to be good, but just like you said, give us a couple of years, and then you can have your move, and we can regenerate the squad and keep going like that. Because let's be honest, we're not going to come in and win the Premier League or in a year and get to the European competitions. We've got to build up to that, and that's how you do it. Bournemouth are in a good position now. That, like you said, they've got the money to spend. They've got that model ready, so players can already see that progression into a higher team. Look at the lad there you mentioned, Alfie, gone to Real Madrid, and that's the kind of level you're looking at. Obviously, Raf with us went to Barcelona. It's the kind of thing, you know, as us as a club that everybody benefits from. You know, the club gets a good player for a couple of years, and then they get the move to the dream club a couple of years later when they've performed at a high level for a couple of seasons. So it's a good level to be at, and I obviously wouldn't, you know, say, oh, I don't know who he is. Who the hell is he? breaking the house down because we've signed a bloody guy from the French division or whatever. It doesn't matter, does it? You know what I mean? So he might turn out to be good. I mean, there's a Japanese lad who we're after now, isn't there, from Sporting Lisbon, who would be the centre midfield partner, obviously with Tanaka. So there's a link there in international terms. I can't remember his name, Mattia or something like this. He's from Sporting Lisbon, isn't he? But there's a couple of names being mentioned, of course. So yeah.
Yeah, just want to touch on this because Michael has been busting to get his comment in. Michael Gott says, like to ask you all, is Daniel on a time frame with the new owners? If so, how long does he get? I don't like that, Michael. I think Daniel Farke will be Leeds United manager for this season. I think he'll be here for the foreseeable. I don't see the 49ers getting rid of him. And I think it'd be unfair because they seem to be backing him with signings. And I quite like Daniel. I don't know about what you two think.
Yeah, I mean, I think the backing him results will determine whether he gets sacked or not. Obviously, I don't think the transfer window will. I think it'll be results. If he can get results, he won't be sacked. If he doesn't, he will be sacked. It's as simple as that. I have no preference either way.
Alfie?
Yeah, I mean, look, all managers, sort of apart from the big clubs, I think are always on a time frame, especially when you get up, because the key is to stay up, and that's it. And if at any point it doesn't look like it's happening, then you can get the trigger pulled on you. I think I really like Farke, and I mean, look, it was never on the cards that he was ever going to get sacked before the season started. That was just complete lazy journalism.
This guy here wanted him gone straight away.
Well, I mean, it was never going to happen, and it would have been completely stupid to do it. Yeah, it's a hit job kind of thing, and it's because he's got this monkey on his back of 2 relegations, 2 miserable seasons in the Premier League. But just look at the signings they made. Like, Norwich were on an absolute shoestring. They were still owned by Delia Smith both times they were in the Premier League. I mean, look, I'm not saying anything against Delia and her, talents as a club chairman, but she had no money. Like, I think she had a net worth of probably about 40-50 million. So, that's like one squad player for the top 6, and you're trying to get in a competitive squad. It can't be done. It cannot be done in this day and age. Unless you are. I'm thinking of there's a handful of managers who would be able to do something like that. So this is a clean slate. This is his first official try at being a Premier League manager with a proper budget. And I would like to see us go down with Farke, quite frankly, unless we are literally having a Derby Southampton level season and there's just absolutely no hope. If we go down sort of in the final few weeks of the season, I want to keep Farke because we know that he's got the blueprint for the Championship. He can do that bit. And then the next time we go up, then give him, a month, 2 months and then pull the trigger. But yeah, I think Farke, he's got his head screwed on. He's a calm manager, and that's what I think we're going to need. You don't need I was trying to think of a word to describe Jesse Marsh. I can't really.
No,
like a rabid weasel sort of buzzing about the place, just coming up with corporate buzzwords after every game, and sort of we need someone like Farke, and I just want to keep listening to his voice, to be honest. It makes me feel nice.
It's good.
It scratches an itch in my brain.
I've missed Farke. I hope he comes out and speaks.
Where was he on that video? He wasn't there. The meathead assistant man was running the session by the look of it.
Maybe he's on a recruitment drive, Josh. Maybe he's scouting the.
Well, yeah,
Bundesliga 2.
Yeah, well, this is it.
Bargains.
He's got, the bargain bin at Bundesliga 2. He's got the knowledge of Bundesliga, the German football, hasn't he? So it won't be the last signing we signed. Bornau won't be the last one we signed from the Bundesliga.
Yeah, I just want to touch on what Michael says there. He says a lot of Fark haters on YouTube. He's only got somebody apparently has said that it's got to the end of August. Because I rate Fark and I feel he deserves it. I hope they don't if they do pull the trigger, you've got to give him at least 10, 15 games to see how the season's going. Because I think, you've got Everton at home, Arsenal away is a tough game, Newcastle at home, tough, Fulham away, competitive, Wolves away. You should hope Bournemouth at home, you should be able to pick up a few points within that time frame. I just hope they don't pull the trigger and think, oh God, we've drawn against Everton and got hammered 4-0, 4-0. I hope they don't do that. I hope they just give him a little bit of time because that's what he needs.
Oh, he was on. He was on at the end of the video, was he? I didn't see that, to be fair, but yeah, I don't know.
There you go. Apparently, Jimbo says Fark's on the pissing of ether. Good lad. I hope he is. He deserves it.
He's still on the piss in Leeds. He's still there. He's just riding there. You just see him every morning. He does constant laps of the hedgerow. He's still there. It's like, Daniel, it was 2 months ago, man. Get down.
Oh, he's loving it.
Yeah, because you say we can recollect about his managerial ability, but to be fair, he seems like a good bloke, and I think that's part of it as well for the fans. He seems like an approachable man and quite a relatable bloke.
Speaking of managers, can I just mention Keith Andrews has got a job in the Premier League?
Yeah.
Keith Andrews was on Sky years ago as a kind of pundit. And now he's back the Brentford job. They are fucked.
Yeah, I thought it was a different Keith Andrews, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. There's a guy with the same name as the guy, but yeah, it's bizarre because when did he stop being a Leeds hating bastard and go into set piece coaching?
Yeah,
and B, why did they think? Oh, Thomas Frank has gone? Like, they're like, oh, great, there's loads of managers out of contract this summer, loads of experience there. It's just like, no, we have to go for the set piece coach, someone who knows the system or something. It's just like, Zidane's out of contract, and we might be able to get like Allegri, and could we tempt Klopp back in? It's like, no. Andrews, it has to be him.
Sam Goodman still has hope then.
It's good. Yeah, it's bonkers. They've shot themselves in the foot. It's sort of Hockaday kind of vibe to it, really.
Yeah, it's worse than that. I would say honestly, because at least he was the manager of a football club before we hired him. Like, it was Forest Green Rovers, but oh my God. Yeah. Do you know what it is? We're sitting here watching him be absolutely mint. Like, watch them lose like Mbuemo, Wissa, they've lost Norgard. Watch them lose all their good players, and he'll just get in all the champion, like proper championship bastards, and they'll win they'll like draw every game 0-0.
Yeah.
And oh man.
So it could be worse. So Leeds could have, sacked Fark and brought in Keith Andrews.
Yeah. To be fair,
I still find that really bizarre. I do like Brentford as a club. I think they're a well-run club, but I think Keith Andrews is just so bonkers. No Premier League experience whatsoever.
It can't be good, can it? It can't work out.
Does it really?
I mean, I know Brentford are sort of, they do things well, to be fair to them over there, but this is going to be a big rebuild, isn't it? Like, they're going to have to unless they are literally looking at it thinking, let's get all this money in, kind of see what we can do, and maybe they're sort of planning to say, well, if we go down, we go down, but try and sort of, because they have a B team, don't they, rather than an academy, so they can sort of get players in better, and they seem to sort of buy low and sell high, so I'm sure they won't be like that bad, but
they're going to be down there in a scrap out there. Them, Wolves, I think Forest are going to struggle this year because I don't think they'll compete in Europe and the Premier League. I think it's quite open this year in the Premier. I really do. I don't think it's. I know a lot of bookies are saying, "Oh, the three which have come up are going to go down." I don't think it'll be as as quick as that. I think it's going to be quite open this year. And I think Sunderland, as we said before, I think they've made some good signs. I think they'll compete this year. But I think it's just shithouses like Everton, Fulham, Wolves, Bournemouth, Brentford with Keith Andrews at the helm. You just hope surely one of those shithouses has got to have a shit season and we've got to have a good season. Surely.
Yeah. It's easy to look at the table and think, all these teams, that finish sort of 17th to 12th last season, like how are we going to get past them? Because on paper, you look at Wolves, West Ham, Brentford, like Palace, maybe even like Forest, as you say, might struggle. I think they'll probably be all right, but Everton again, like they will struggle and then summon like the devil's sorcery again and somehow start playing like Barcelona in the last few weeks of the season. But you really look into the situations of all those teams. I have seen someone mention wet spam. I assume that means West Ham. In the comments, I think they're on for a struggle. They're due an absolute stinker of a season. They've had a couple of bad ones. Wolves for me are my sort of would you call it a dark horse for relegation?
Yeah.
Could you have that like or like a light horse? A light horse for relegation because they've lost their two best players and they don't seem to be doing anything about it really.
Yeah. And I'm not, as much as I did like Manchester United being down there last year, I don't think they'll be down there again this year, and I don't think Spurs will be with Frank at the helm. I think they'll be mid-table as they were with Brentford, and I don't know. I just hope that we compete. That's the main thing. Don't sat back, give it a go, and just enjoy the ride. And don't, at the end of the day, your Arsenal games, your Chelseas, your Man Cities, they're free hits for fuck's sake. Newcastle, free hit. All those big boys, they're all free. And if you get a point against them, it's an absolute bonus.
Yeah.
And that's what we've got to start thinking of. We're thinking, oh God, 3 games in, we've drawn at home against Everton, we've been spanked by Arsenal and Newcastle, and it's all doom and gloom. But we ain't competing with those. They're just too big for us at the moment. And I just hope we just compete. Don't get spanked every week like we did under Marsh, because that was shit. Let's be honest. All 3 of us were depressed.
Yeah, it was genuinely a struggle.
Depression.
To I think it's something that isn't quite talked about. I'm really gonna this is really sort of woe is me, but I think people don't really think about when you've come back from football and you've lost and it's been really horrible and just miserable and you just don't want to talk about it. But imagine that, but you have to talk about it. That's what it was like. It was like we get back and it's like, now we have to talk about it. We don't have a choice. And it's like, oh, for God's sake. Like, it's just, I
am going to miss, shall I tell you one thing? I am going to miss that. I am going to miss the championship, lads. I really am. I'm just going to miss the championship shithousery each week. I am going to miss it.
I think you're getting a bit of nostalgic bias there because I mean, I agree with you. I sort of agree with you now, but like 3 months ago, it was like, get me out of here now. Like,
yes, I agree.
Please let this end. But yeah.
I'm going to miss it. I'd love a game against Wrexham, just to be honest, but it doesn't matter. We're out of that now, and it is what it is, isn't it? We're out of it, and we're going to get spanked every week, and it's going to be disastrous. And Park's going to get sacked. George is going to be saying we should decide these shithouses who come in, and it's all going to go wrong.
Club's
and this is like what Colin says. Like what Colin says there. I am not this one. Colin, I'm going to miss winning because for the last 2 years, being at Ellen Road, watching us absolutely spank teams, it's been a joy to watch. It really has. And now it's complete role reversal because you're going to be hanging in 5 minutes here, 5 minutes. Can we get a goal? Can we hold on? Can we get to half time? Oh,
it's a different.
I'm bored of winning. I'm bored. It's boring.
Different mindset into it and different quality of opposition. A new challenge, and that's what we're after.
Yeah,
I'm looking
Excellent.
forward to not. I am going to miss sort of like us, regardless of like whether we'd won like 7 or 8 games in a row. The utter meltdown after losing like one game last season, like we'd be absolutely miles ahead, and we'd lose one game, and be like, right, that's it, it's over.
Fuck out.
Yeah. Whereas next season we're going to get spanked 6-0 and be like, well, we held out for the first 3.
No, well, we did all right in the first half. It was if it was a game of 2 halves, we'd have done all right.
Yeah, it was only
all
1-0 at half time, and then
He brought that mature or whatever he's called on, and he just missed a sitter, and it had changed the game. It's going to be that. Bamford's going to be the game changer, and you just we missed Bamford. It's going to be all that again.
Yeah,
I can't wait. I really can't. I really can't, lads. But yeah, let's just hope that Leeds can get some more signings through the door, get a real good quality squad together, and just for God's sake compete. Because let's be honest, it can't be worse off the last time we win the Premier League. It can be a lot easier and a lot better with Fark at the helm.
Absolutely.
And as Michael says, sack back, then Jesse and Sam come back. You just think, we don't need that. We don't need Big Sam. He's gone. You know what I mean?
I'm not 100% sure that era under Sam Allardyce was real, to be honest. It certainly didn't feel like it.
Dimension.
Yeah. I'll always remember that formation in the last day of the season, and with like 7 defenders conceded in the second minute. Oh man, that was actually. It's funny now, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's funny.
It was funny because when was it Gracia who got sacked, and then he literally did an interview with Talk Sport or something, didn't he? Big Sam as well. I'm looking out at Thorpe Park now, and it's grand, and you think, oh, for God's sake. And you just think, well, we've got the guy doesn't even manage at Soccer Aid anymore. That's how shit he is.
He got sacked by the World 11. Oh,
this is the thing. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Angry Ginge. He lost Angry Ginge in the dressing room.
And as Clive says, finish 17th and we'll be happy. I think we all will. 17th is the goal this season. And if Leeds stay in it, great. Compete, great. It'll be good. But yeah, we will see. Well, do you know what, lads? It's been a real pleasure to have you back this year. Please do come back. We love talking to you. It's like a little reunion. We should do it more often.
Reunion tour.
A reunion.
It's great.
If Oasis can reform, so can LS11.
Yeah, very true.
Yes, absolutely. That's what the fans want it.
Yeah. Overcome our differences.
Exactly.
It's only a matter of time before we have a very public falling out again.
Exactly.
Mainly involving black Bentleys.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Goodness me.
Well, Alfie, please do come back, because we do like having you on, and we do like it's like a blast from the past. I'm sure if somebody was listening, 3-4 years ago, they'd see this.
Yeah, well, as Jimbo says, I think Big Lou and Lewis, we need to get them back if it's going to be a proper reunion.
Yeah, we get them on.
If you can track them down.
Well, one last dance.
One last dance.
But it's got to be for something. Is there anything happening? Is anything coming up?
Could be deadline day, couldn't it? Something like
deadline
this.
Deadline day.
Oh God.
Bad memories, mate. Sorry.
No.
Deadline day with the Black Bentleys caused issues. Get Clive and Russell on. I can remember that. That was a good job. That.
Yeah. Everybody. How many people can this stream take?
As many as we want.
Fill it up.
Why don't you just type out a list of random email addresses and just send them all out and let's just see what happens.
Yeah. Well, as I say, please do give us a like. Do give us a share. Do listen on the pods as well, because we get this out on the podcast, and we do get listeners. Believe it or
not. Good.
Believe it or not, we get thousands. Believe it or not, God knows why.
There really selling this, Aaron.
I
It's
know.
great.
It's been great to have you on, Alfie. We will get you
Thank
back
you.
on. George, you'll be back because you always are. Jack Harrison in between. Jerry will be back. And we'll be back talking Leeds for some Premier League action and discussing when Daniel Farke will be sacked. And it's all doom and gloom, and I can't wait. So, gentlemen, we'll see you on the next one.
See you on the next one, everybody.
care.
Good stuff. See you soon.
Ta-ra.
Watch it all together. Watch it all together.